Manella.
Here.
Commissioner Hightower.
Here.
Commissioner Webb.
Here.
Commissioner Goss.
Here.
Mayor Butler.
Here. Any addition or correction to the minutes of the meeting of September 12th? If not, they will be approved. Now, it looks to me like we have a nice representation of some very handsome young boys and girls, young ladies and gentlemen. Now, with all of this, who is the spokesman?
Well, there's 2 or 3 that are going to speak, and a couple are going to throw in a few words as well.
Okay,
They're all going to be short to the point.
just like the commissioners, okay.
But unlike the mayor.
Okay, come first over to the microphone.
Go ahead. Sorry. You can one at a time.
Right over here. Now pull the mic down. Speak into it. Number 1, what is your name?
Jordan Ferguson.
Okay. And what are you doing here this evening?
I'm talking about my trip to the Civil Rights Museum.
Okay, go ahead.
I truly enjoyed my visit to the National Civil Rights Museum. It first opened in 1991 with a focus on education of the history of the American Civil Rights Movement.
Okay, now don't run off. Did you enjoy your trip?
Yes, sir.
Did you learn anything?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel that you know about the civil rights movement now?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall any of the major players in the civil rights movement?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Who were some of the people you learned about?
Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks.
Good, good. Okay, thank you, son. You've done good. Next. Go ahead. What is your name?
Victoria Vaughn.
Victoria Vaughn?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The trip to Memphis was very fun and was very fun and educational. Not only for me, but for everyone. The ride up there was exciting because we all bonded and I got to know some people I didn't know before. We've seen new things. I've seen new things that without this program I probably wouldn't have been able to see before. Once we got to Memphis, the trip got even more exciting. We got to go into the museum. We seen, what did we see? We seen sculptures, paintings, books, and short films all throughout the, the tour.
Great. I assume you learned a lot.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and do you think you remember what you learned?
Somewhat.
Somewhat. Okay, that's better than nothing. Okay, well, thank you so much. You did good. And what is your name?
Marquez Lilly.
Go ahead.
Sorry. My name is Marquez Lilly, and I would like to thank you guys for letting us go to the Civil Rights Museum in Memphis. And once we got there, we walked in and we saw this giant statue, and it was a mirror of America, and it was made out of, like, people were walking up to the top to make their way through freedom. And then after that, we went into this art exhibit about all the black history, and through, like, people drawing what they saw and what it meant to them. Then after that, we went into the video room, and they showed us a short presentation before we started our tour.
Did they have anything there about Frederick Douglass?
Yes. They had, one there in the paintings. They had a painting and it was like a mural of his face. And then, like in the tour, they had some stuff about him when he came to the
Okay, that's really good. Now, George Washington Carver wasn't so much in the civil rights movement, but did they have anything about him?
I don't remember seeing George Washington Carver during the tour.
Okay, very good. Thank you. And what is your name?
My name is Ashaya.
Speak up into the microphone. Pull it down.
There you go.
Now speak loud.
My name is Ashaya Graham, and some of the stuff we learned, we got to see the bus. Rosa Parks said that she wasn't moving to the front of the bus because she thought she had a right to sit in the front of the bus, so she didn't feel like moving to the back. And we got to see that bus, and we learned about Malcolm X, and we got to see when Martin Luther King got assassinated, and we got to see the gun that he got assassinated with.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
How many days was you there?
For one day.
Just one day.
Would you want to go back?
Yeah.
Yes, that's great. You've done very well. Thank you. Okay, Reverend.
Okay.
Does-
We'd like to thank the council for approving funds for that trip to Memphis. We appreciate it.
Well, now, Ron, I want you to recognize that the members of the city council are full of compassion and the milk of human kindness.
I didn't think you stretched it.
Okay, enough said.
Ron, do you plan on a trip like this next summer for these children?
Well, we want, it's the junior high school that we want to go. After they've been in the program up through the grade school and get to junior high, that we want to be able to reward each junior high person at 6th, 7th, and 8th with a trip to the museum.
That's great. I think it is so necessary for young people to get a feeling of the history of the country. And of course, the civil rights movement was a major part of the history, recent history of the United States. So we thank you, and we appreciate your participation in this program. Anyone else have anything you would like to say?
See a hand back there.
Yeah.
If this is the place to do it.
Oh, I think you meant in regards to
Well, you'll get your time.
You said, does anyone, I thought,
Yeah, and I'm looking at them, and you, well, anyhow. Okay, are you sure that none of you girls have anything more you want to say? See, we recognize that women and girls always have something to say. Well, if not, well, we appreciate you being here, and you're certainly welcome to stay if you care to do so.
are free to leave if they want to.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
You might need that purse.
See you later.
Take care, Ron.
Thank you, Ron. Thanks, guys. Thanks for coming. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Thanks, Geneva.
Okay, now is there anyone who has something to say?
Go ahead.
I guess I'm next.
I guess so.
Those people are for the rezoning over there for the,
Oh, okay.
Well, good evening, gentlemen. My name is Jack Randolph. You probably remember me from being here one time before. And I came tonight to discuss what I thought at the time was my concerns regarding an extension of Francis Drive here in Marion. I asked Mrs. Wicks some 3.5 weeks ago to give each of you a packet of information which I had put together to kind of point out my concerns as to how and what was happening on the street out there. And I came here fully prepared tonight to discuss with each and every one of you what your thoughts were on the street. However, I had a conversation on Friday with Doug Phillips, the street superintendent, which to a great extent alleviated my concerns on the street. And I'd like to share that conversation with you if I could. He indicated to me that at this point in time, Mr. Gary McGee had agreed to install a 24 by 82 foot section of roadway on the northern extension of Francis Drive, which would at that point take it to the northern terminus of the dedicated street. My understanding is that this street is to be constructed according to the City Code number 1704 and the Illinois Department of Transportation specifications for surfaces of that kind. Whether Mr. McGee will go ahead and do this or not, I have no idea. But at this point in time, this seems to be the solution to the problem out there. And if this being the case, then I don't have any concerns because Mr. McGee can do on his section of road out there whatever he decides to do. But I would say this, based on past performance from him and what he has done around my home out there, it has left a little bit to be lacking. In some instances, there's been a second and third attempt to repair damage that was caused, and it still doesn't come out where it should. So I would say one thing, and I am sure that the city will make sure that it happens. It will be done correctly. I would like to thank you, gentlemen, for your indulgence and your any help that you gave me in getting this done. So thank you very much. And
Do you want to tell them what precipitated all this?
What caused this to come up?
Well, you want me to tell them or do you want to tell them?
I prefer you do it.
All right.
Thank you.
A year ago, Mr. McGee purchased a piece of property to the north of where I live, and indicated to me that he had bought the street and he owned it and could do as he pleased with it, and that there wasn't much I could do about it. He had all the money that he needed, and if I came down here and talked to you people, I'd never get anything done.
Wait a minute. What did he say?
He said, and I quote, that if I come down to City Hall and caused trouble, that I would be on the blacklist and would never get anything done. Well, that is not an exact quote, but that's as much as I can remember.
It's enough for me to be very unhappy with that.
How'd that work out?
I don't think it worked well for
I
him.
didn't think it did either.
Yeah.
Well, now also hasn't he started a spec home?
I do not know whether it's a spec home or not. He has a home up, he has it under roof, and as far as I have been able to check on certain things, he paid for his permits, he hadn't picked them up. I don't know that he has filed any kind of an EPA abatement or anything else. He has a home up. He tore up the street out there to the point, with the heavy equipment going in there, to the point of where the trucks could not get in and they were having to drive around the mud hole that was in the street. And he did fill that in last week. And he has just pretty much done it. He's darn well pleased.
It was my understanding that the home that was going up was a spec home. Now,
there is one, if you would like to go out and look as you drive down Francis Drive,
yeah.
you will see a house sitting right in the middle of where Francis Drive would be if it went on through. He has it up, he has the garage under roof, he has part of the house under roof, and they haven't been out there since noon Friday, so I don't know what's going on there. but he was very insistent that wasn't much I could do about it.
Well, I think we had an agreement with him that once he started building a house, then he had an obligation to do some work on the street.
Yes, sir, you did. And that agreement...
And he did that.
My understanding with that agreement is, and I looked at it very closely, and as I spoke to you some 3 weeks ago before I had to go to Cleveland Clinic, that I thought that that agreement was predicated upon false information provided to you people. Mainly because in the beginning of the agreement, it states that he can build a 12-foot wide concrete drive from the northern end of Francis Drive to his house, indicating that Francis Drive terminated in Melmar subdivision. It doesn't. It terminates in front of my subdivision, right dab smack in the middle of it.
Yeah, now see, this he's going to have to comply with. The street has to go up to the property line. What goes north of the property line, that's, we have no concern with.
I certainly agree with you, sir.
Okay.
And my understanding is that he is, at this point, according to Mr. Phillips, has shown him a drawing of a street that is 24 feet wide and 82 or 84 feet long, which will take Francis Drive to the northern terminus of the dedicated street.
Yeah, it'll be the south property line that he has.
Yes, sir, be his south.
Yeah, okay.
Now, what about right-of-way? 8 feet of right-of-way on each side?
According to the plat maps that I have and that you have in that packet, the right-of-way is designated there is a 50-foot section with, I think, 20-some-odd feet on, it's 40 feet wide.
Can answer that.
Yeah.
It's 40 feet wide and for the street.
Do you have anything on that, Glenn?
Yes, it was dedicated, it's a 50-foot wide right-of-way dedicated to Francis Drive over to the terminus of where Mr. Rent talking about.
Yeah.
Stops there. Now, the agreement was, and I'll put the agreement together, the agreement was that he was to build a 12-foot concrete street from the end of the paved Francis Drive that exists in front of your house on the...
All the way to the property line.
His property line with one house.
Yeah.
Whenever 2 or more houses were put in, and he had to pay, and he couldn't get a permit for that second house until he put his other 12-foot piece of road to them.
Yeah.
He may very well be thinking he's going to put 2 houses in. If he does, then he's got a 24-foot wide road to the end.
Well, the problem with this is that that 12-foot wide strip is on a dedicated city street, which is in violation of the ordinance.
Well, the agreement made was he puts one house in there, he put a 12-foot wide street. I don't know what the violation, but that was how the agreement was signed.
I understand that, but that agreement also indicated that Francis Drive terminated in Melmar subdivision, and it does not.
It didn't say anything about where it terminated.
Yes, it does, sir. I'm sorry, I have a copy of it here.
Somebody else put something to it because it says it starts at the beginning where they pave surface.
Concrete is now.
Where the blacktop, it's not concrete.
Well, blacktop, whatever it
Blacktop
is.
is now over to the end.
Okay.
Anyway, I don't want to belittle the argument here, but there is in the let's see, okay.
Well, I think your concern is to be sure that McGee complies with the agreement.
Now, right here is in the agreement in the second sentence, it indicates for the city of Marion to allow construction of a 12-foot wide concrete roadway from the end of the HME surface on the north end of the existing Francis Drive located in Melmar Estates. It doesn't end there. It ends in front of my estates.
Well, he starts at the beginning and goes to his property line.
Yes.
His
So,
property line is the end of the Francis Drive.
But are you going to allow a street that is not in compliance with your city ordinance?
Anything. That's not my call. The agreement's what allowed and what was signed.
that's exactly right, and the street superintendent and the code enforcement people will make sure that McGee complies. Just that simple.
With the 24-foot wide strip?
Whatever the agreement was is what is going to carry.
Okay, in other words,
12-foot wide, 2 or more, 24-foot wide.
24.
Well, he's agreed to build a 24. I mean, he's already...
Yeah, okay, so,
That's what I'm saying. I came here tonight to let you people know this seems to be settled.
And I
yeah,
assure you...
well, that's good. You've accomplished your purpose.
Yes, I have.
Okay.
Like I said, thank you very much.
I will assure you that the street department and the inspectors we have usually through Clarida Ziegler is going to be on top of the way he builds the street.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much,
Okay,
gentlemen.
thank you, Mr.
Higher
Randolph.
quality than what's in front of your house.
Beg pardon, sir?
It'll be a much higher quality street than what's presently in front of your house.
What's there past the city code?
I didn't say that. I just said it'd be a higher quality.
Okay.
Okay, Doc, very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Randolph. Okay, I believe we may have some people here who are interested in rezoning Thorn Street and Everett Street, each from Virginia Avenue to Calumet, from R2 multiple family residential to R1 single family residential. Is that correct?
Jeff.
Okay, step forth.
If I may pass these plat maps out.
Sure.
The last one that you got from me the last time I was here was not as detailed as this one.
Sure.
And also, here is the petitions that were circulated around.
And is this all of the people in this area? Or most?
There are 40 buildings, houses sitting on lots within the area that we're talking about.
Okay.
We have signatures from 30 of them.
Okay.
6 of those homes are rentals. They did not sign those, the renters.
Sure, yeah, the renters should not. Okay, well,
And 3 homes are vacant. They're either for sale or they're abandoned or whatever the case is there.
okay, well, it looks to me like that there is overwhelming support for rezoning that.
I will tell you that when I and Kathy helped pass out the petitions in the neighborhood, every door that I went to was not refused by anyone signing.
Yeah, good.
If they weren't home, that's why they're not on there.
Yeah.
Most of them didn't realize that it was R2 zoning.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah, I can.
common over and over and over again.
Yeah,
So we appreciate anything that the commissioners and the mayor can do with affecting the zoning back to R1, or I don't know if it's R1 at one time, but get it into R1 so that we protect that neighborhood and the integrity of it.
I think this is something perhaps long overdue, and I believe the integrity of that area needs to be protected, and the best way to do that is to rezone it from R2 to R1.
And R2 allows for what exactly?
Multifamily apartments,
Okay.
things of that sort, duplexes.
Yeah, well, I'd make the motion, we adopt ordinance, whatever it is.
Okay, what would be our next ordinance number?
It will be
Which item number?
3,353.
2000, 3,000.
53.
What'd she say?
3,000.
3353.
Oh, 3353.
Okay,
Okay, it's your motion that we adopt ordinance 3353.
Second.
yes.
Second.
Second, call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yes.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. We appreciate the good work that you did. I know it took time and effort, and you're to be commended for that.
Thank you. And we're going to start encouraging our neighbors to keep up their property too,
Yeah, that's great.
and do some research on these so-called abandoned properties and
Yeah.
see once what we can do with that, because that doesn't do the town, but it really doesn't do our neighborhood any
I
good.
know, sure it doesn't enhance
So-
it at all.
I've driven this since it came in, and it is a nice part of the town, you know?
Yeah.
It needs to be
I
protected.
mean, I love my neighborhood, and I love Marion. I've come to love it. I grew up in Randolph County and moved here, kind kind of by accident because I got assigned by work here. I love Marion.
Good.
And I hope I'll die here.
Well, now let's don't get carried away.
My grandfather's going to be 100 in December. I think I've got a long time on this earth yet.
You have a long race to run. Well, we really do appreciate it, and we thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, in the spirit of transparency, Mayor, I felt an obligation to vote for this. He passed my driver's license.
Oh, let's not go there.
And,
Don't go there.
so we kind of talked this over.
Oh, dear. For transparency's sake.
Yeah, transparency, yes.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have something?
Heard about it.
I was going to say things, so thank you.
Thank you.
We appreciate it very much.
Sure.
Yeah. Appreciate the good work. Okay, if not, okay, what's the deal about a spreader for the sewer department?
This is something that Brent and I talked about. Instead of buying a new spreader for $31,000, he's wanted to trade the old one in, which the approximate value for that is like $9,900. It offset a used one, which would be $18,900. So total cost for us would be $9,000. That'd be my motion.
Okay, and you have money to pay that?
I believe we do, but I mean, I can check on that. We can hold off.
They do.
They do.
Okay.
They do?
I'll
Okay,
second the
that's your motion. Second, call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Now, what's this about creating another position in the street department?
We have a need for additional help. We need to bump a full-time summer employee up to full-time. I think we talked about that earlier. And I've talked to Steve Hale, we have the money in our budget, no problem. And I think Gail has cleared it out with the local 703 or 7, whatever it is, that they have no objection to it. And I'd like to create that position and make a motion next to hire the guy.
Okay, do you have the name of the person?
Yes, Christopher Francis. He's been working full-time in the summer program. We just need to bump him up to full-time.
No, second.
It's
This
not
is for like a labor's job or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Okay,
just
that's
need.
your motion?
That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Got a second? Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
And item 3 is to actually hire Christopher Francis to fill that new position at pay rate per the union contract dated May 2015 through 2019. That's my motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, what's this about resurfacing a couple of parking lots?
I don't think we have anything ready. We need to table that, Robert.
Okay. What's this about a new Bobcat soil conditioner for the street department?
That is a new machine that we are trying out. We haven't bought it yet, but we'd like to buy it.
What do you have to condition the ground for?
Well, for his manure spreader.
Is that what you, why don't you say it's a manure spreader?
And I got that mixed up, Mayor. For example, Summerfield out there, you know, where we put all the new sewer lines or storm sewers in.
Yeah, yeah.
All that dirt is piled. Used to, we had to let it settle and settle. And with this new equipment, if you've been out there to look at it, you should. This thing, it pulverizes all the dirt. It separates the clumps and the roots and the rocks and the debris, throws them out, and it leaves nothing but real small pieces of dirt. When you get through, it's just like
Is it an attachment that goes on a bobcat, or is it a self-propelled unit?
it's an attachment.
Okay.
And we think it'd be used for all departments. I mean, like, sir, and you guys, when you dig those up, you can use this thing, and it smooths out just like this.
You realize that you're displacing nature.
Yours may be.
These things would be.
I hadn't thought of that, Robert, no.
Maybe just helping nature along.
But Since we're gonna use
I
it,
understand what he's talking about, because when we,
yeah,
especially there on Suzanne,
yeah.
when that water line was put in there, we actually need to go back in there
Yeah.
and do some work on those folks' yards. I was just through there and it was,
Prep work before seeding,
Yeah.
I assume.
And I'm sure that since all departments will be using it, they'll share the cost of this. But,
Well, most of the departments do not have the money that you do.
you've taken all my money. With my gas tax, I don't have anything
You got
left.
gas tax, you got motor fuel tax,
general fund.
And TIF money, got lots of stuff.
all kinds of money coming through your department, and we don't want you to squander it.
No, I'm very frugal. So I'd make the motion to accept the item number 5 and approve this bid on the Bobcat.
I'll second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanilla,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Butler.
Okay, what's this about installing lights on the hill water tower?
I think that has to be tabled also.
You think what?
Has to need to table it,
Okay, we can do that.
unless you have something new, Glenn.
Nope.
No,
Other than what I shared with you Friday, that's the latest.
Well,
Did,
Ameren came up today and said they could put the poles up at no charge, but they only have a 400 lumen, whatever light they call it, and it's not enough. It would fade out before you hit the top. They were going to put up the poles free of charge, but they
Well, can't you put a light on there that
The Ameren says
more powerful?
if it's not their light, they won't let you put the pole up. We'll have to do it ourselves. Am I understanding that right, Glenn?
That's correct. Ameren says that if we put the poles up, it has to be our lights that's on there.
Yeah.
And the lights that we talked to a private company who gets it from Springfield Electric and give it like each lamp, like each four lights. Two poles on the south, two poles on the north. The ones that we're looking at is 15,000 lumens, which has got a lot of power. If those are $2,000 a piece, it would be over $8,000 just for 4 lights.
Plus, we'd have to put the poles up.
And then the poles would have to be put up and wired run to those.
Okay, how
Well, I
much?
mean, we got power out there. Yeah, that's-
Short distance to run the power.
Yes.
That's correct. So it'd be I think it's $8,500 plus.
Yeah.
Put the poles up and install.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
now what kind of poles are we gonna put
Yeah,
up? We're not
we're-
gonna put up telephone poles, are we?
No.
Okay.
Well, now, some people are quoting 10 foot, some quote 30.
Well, he talked about the whether it's wood or metal.
Yeah,
Quoted
metal.
wood, city wood.
Yeah, metal would be prohibitive.
You can get those penetrated wood that'll last a long time. Not cheaper than you can your metal.
I think those posts, Terrence, you got some price on some of those posts from
Permatreat lumber.
Permatreat, were they $400 roughly?
Around $400. I think she said 40,
Roughly four.
She's probably putting them 10 feet in the ground.
You need four poles.
Yeah,
You need a 50-footer, probably with 10 foot in the ground, make it 40 foot up.
well, what would be the ballpark figure for the total cost? 22,000?
No, it wouldn't be that much, no.
Wouldn't be that much.
We got a,
Material without the post, say the post is $400 a piece, that's $1,600. You got, say, $8,400, $8,500 for the lights.
10 grand.
That's
10,000.
10,000.
You got a little bit of labor to run your power. There's power real close on this side. You got to lay power to get power to your lights.
Okay, who installs the poles?
We just have
FW probably, wouldn't you think?
they would do it, yes. We could get.
Because we couldn't do it.
Get prices to 2 or 3 people.
Okay, very good. All right.
But we're working on it, but,
Yeah, I don't think we're ready yet.
no,
Okay,
we're trying to get it together.
very good. Ordinance 3351, which would approve the rezone of property located at 809 West Prairie from R2 to C1. Now, is this in a residential zone? I mean, we're making a pretty big step.
I think that was the zoning board.
It's from an R2.
Yes, it went through the zoning board, and the zoning board did approve that Thursday night.
Oh, okay. That being the case, what is your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve ordinance 3351.
Second.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Sucker off.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, what's this about hub employee?
Okay, number 9 is to add a current part-time hub employee, add a job code as also being a lifeguard. So that would just be a pay code change for this person, Madeline Nushwander.
I make that motion to approve.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay,
Number 10 are 3 part-time employees. We've had several of our fitness instructors. We need some new classes. We have new people. So we have 1 wellness attendant, Jeremy Jackson, 2 fitness instructors, Kathy Henry and Valerie Bethel. So I would ask the council for these new part-time employees to be approved.
okay, are these replacements or are they new positions?
2 are just our instructors for classes that we need instructors for, and the other is a replacement for a person who went back to college.
Okay, what's your pleasure?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, I will recommend the reappointment of Yolande Peterson as chairman of the Marion Cultural and Civic Center Board for a regular term of 1 year, 2016 to 2017.
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll
Dad.
second that motion.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Yolande Peterson has recommended the appointment of Molly Barkley as Marion High School representative to the Marion Culture and Civic Center Board for the current school year. What is your pleasure?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower.
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Yay.
And Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, what's this about renovation of the snack bar at the hub?
This item is from, on the pavilion. Jared Garrison, and Alice attached pictures of the current, this is the concession room where they sell snacks and food from. So Jared would like to do some remodeling of this room, and he had a bid from Ross Construction for $19,840. As you can tell on the pictures, the concrete floor and the metal tables were put in there originally by the, actually when the Williamson County Events Center first set the building together. And the concrete floor is clean, but it shows, picture-wise, it always, after they mop it and things, it always looks not clean. So Jared had asked Ross Construction to give him a bid on putting in a quartz floor similar to what we have used in the hub, that is for the snack bar and the what we've had poured in the floor in the locker rooms. Very easy to clean, very sanitary, and provides a reasonable base, and it's easy to clean.
I assume he did not take bids for this.
Well, he just asked, Ross has done, did the previous kitchen work last year by replacing the sink, the 3-compartment sink, redoing some of the things in the other kitchen area. So since they were familiar with the building, Steve tells me that they have $10,000 in budget.
Yeah, that was for extra lighting originally.
For expo lighting, and Jared decided to table that in looking at this. And then Jared did say he had some money unused from landscaping, which Steve and I were not sure how much that was at this time. And if the council wants, we can, continue, we can have him get another bid if you'd like.
How much area are they planning on painting? I mean, that seems kind of high if we're supplying the...
Well, and actually, on mine, asked Jared if we could have the two, the maintenance and the custodian, if they would paint, because they have painted before. So we could take 2,083 out of that, and they could paint that themselves. So that would reduce it to 17,000 something.
Well, what you're thinking, guys?
I'll go for it.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it actually doesn't require another bid under state statute because it's under 30,000 now. It used to be 20, so if it's something he feels that needs to be done, one thing about it, he is taking that place to another level in its bookings. So,
Okay, so it's going to be your motion that we approve this?
absolutely.
I'll second it.
Call the roll.
Could we approve that minus the painting?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss.
Thank you.
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay. The Chris Blue, President of Marion Main Street, tell us they've been providing several events annually, and I'd like to request financial support as we have provided in previous years. Do we know what amount we're
I
talking
think it's
about?
5,000.
5,000?
Yeah. That would be my motion to approve $5,000 for Marion Main
Okay.
Street.
That'll put the Hub Fest on.
You want?
Is that who sponsors the Hub Fest? Or?
Yeah, it helps with it.
Yeah. Okay, got a motion?
I'll second.
Second, call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
and Mayor Butler.
Yay. Okay, contract for services with Lifeline Emergency Medical Services Corporation. They have provided Marion with the first-class emergency ambulance service that is the envy of most every town in southern Illinois. And this is the same as prior contracts.
What's the good neighbor policy? You might know what that is.
You want?
The good neighbor policy, what is that exactly?
Well, I think what they're talking about there, one example.
Mutual aid type stuff?
Well, no, it could be, but like when the Marion Marlins have their big swim meet, they'll provide an ambulance there all day long. At the youth football games, there's an ambulance. At the high school football games, there's ambulances.
Without charge?
Yeah, without charge, you know.
Well, that should be school system anyway.
Yeah. So we're good neighbors with our school district now.
Yeah. Okay, what's your pleasure?
I make a motion to approve the
I'll second.
contract for the Lifeline Emergency Medical
Motion made
Services.
and second, call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella,
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower,
Yay.
Commissioner Webb,
Yay.
Commissioner Goss,
Yay.
Mayor Butler.
Yay.
I'd like to talk about 16 executive session.
You what?
I would like to talk about 16 in executive session.
Okay. All right, ordinance 3352 has to do with the authorization of redevelopment agreement with Chris Sievers and Tiffany Sievers in the hub. Tell us about it, Gail.
Okay, Chris and Tiffany Sievers are partners in SI Elder Care Law, and they have purchased the old, what do we call it, Banterra building, the old courthouse building
The
down
old
here
bank.
on Main Street,
The old Bank of Egypt
the
building.
old Bank of Egypt building. And they are,
Actually, it's the old West Side Hotel building.
Wow.
I know it has a long history.
Home of Golfs and Prizes at one time.
Thank you.
That's all right.
Our history. This is in the hub TIF. Actually, it's one of those that what we really love to use TIF funds for is they're going to take an old building and they're moving their law practices after it's remodeled from Boulevard, where it currently is, and they are going to move into that building. And they are also adding more attorneys. So it's creating jobs. It's rehabbing a building that I understand needs some work.
Yes.
And it actually took it off the county's books, and we're very happy to have another business coming downtown.
Well done.
Okay, and the terms in this are the same as?
Yes, it's a 70-30. Hub TIF expires like in the year 2034, which is a few years.
Well, that's 18 years.
Well, it's been in existence. We started the hub in, 2010, I believe?
Yeah.
So, and it is, it's a 70-30 split, so it's our standard agreement.
Yeah, and we don't have any idea how much their assessed evaluation would be.
Well, it's being put back on the county rolls as a tax, because as you remember, if it was a county building, Mr. Goss, do you know if it was, they weren't paying taxes on that building, were they?
Okay, well, that'd be...
So it'll become a taxable building once I think they're closing very soon, and then it will enter the tax rolls and have an assessed valuation.
Is that something, that's part of this deal? Is
No, it won't be zero,
Yeah.
because I think we haven't assumed cost.
Okay. What's your pleasure?
I move we adopt ordinance 3352.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Vanella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay, do you have anything?
Well, I got a couple things here. First one is, if any of you got the Southern Illinois years, you've seen this cartoon in it. And there's many words I could use. Deplorable's one of them, sickening's another, and I'll stay politically correct and just leave it at that. I think this is where the media has crossed the line. You know, we got some issues in this country, and when they expose pictures like this to the public, they don't help. And we have police officers, you know, both men and women, firefighters, EMS, correctional officers, every day doing a job that nobody else wants. Going to work and wearing a safety vest, bulletproof vest, that, you know, for a lot of cases will not stop the bullets that they have shot at them. And to see this type in a local, regional paper, they have crossed the line. You know, newspapers have went from a source of information and education to sensational journalism. And as far as I'm concerned with this city, we can cut back on our advertising dollars that we spend with them or suspend them altogether. This is, like I said, deplorable in their actions. And if you looked on Facebook, on Channel 3's site this morning, it was overwhelming. The people of Southern Illinois did not like this. And for this to go against the people that protect our lives on an everyday basis is needless. And I'll just leave it right there.
I'm really disappointed in the fact that this happened, but even more so in the lame excuse they gave as an apology this morning. They said something to the effect that this cartoon did not go through the usual channels before it was published.
It was syndicated, yes.
And I don't buy that. I don't care where they're getting their material. They are in charge of what is put in the paper. And you can't make me believe that there wasn't somebody in the editorial side of this paper who didn't see that. It really is upsetting and disgusting, and I thought the Southern had more integrity. But with this lame excuse, to my mind, all they did was compound an already egregious situation. And I'm sure that they're going to bear the brunt of backlash. And I don't know if they'll ever recover from
You
that.
know, what we started this council meeting off with tonight is what's good in America. Taking these kids, you know, and taking them to a place and letting them see, you know, where, you know, the civil rights movement started and where, you know, a lot of their people suffered in making things right. And, you know, and it's something, you know, that, you know, I think, you know, I asked Ron, what are you going to do next year? And, you know, we'll take some more. Great. That's what we need to be doing, and we need more things like this to, you know, it shouldn't be a black or white issue in this country. You know, and I was going to ask, you know, well, you probably know, you know, and leaving this out of the council meeting, but, you know, I've read the Bible a few times, and I don't know where it ever talked about color. You know, it doesn't. And it shouldn't be an issue. But things like this make it an issue. And as like the mayor said, you know, they're compounding an already bad situation. And at some point in time, the media has got to become responsible in what they print and what they show on TV to turn this situation around to make it better for us all.
You're not suggesting that they would have a double standard, one for the people that they are writing about and then one for themselves?
Yes.
I thought that's what you were trying to say.
Excluding the present journalist.
Oh, yes, yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
These are the ones that's going to turn it around for us right here, the new generation.
No two ways about it.
Okay, couple more things. I make a motion to pay the bills as funds become available.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Agenda.
Did we have one?
Yes.
Did we? I didn't see it. I make a motion to pay the consent agenda.
Second.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranella?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay, Angelo?
Nope.
Jim?
Nothing?
I'm almost afraid to ask you.
Well, I do have one thing to say, but it's constructive, Mr. Mayor. If anyone attempted to get into our cemetery website, just bear with us, it's under construction. I mean, is that the proper word, Terrence?
Yes, sir.
We've outgrown the old website, and Terrence in the middle of building one that brings us up to date. So if anybody's been trying to get on there, it's been down for a few days, but he'll have it up probably tomorrow morning.
Okay.
So I just want to make that announcement, that people start, how come I can't get into the cemetery?
Yeah, okay.
But that's
I do have one more thing. I forgot about this. This is pretty important. This is something Commissioner Goss and I had worked on, started last year. Our electronic recycling is going to be on October the 8th from 9 to 11. It's going to be at the training center.
9 to 12.
On Boulevard.
9 to 12?
Yeah.
Training Center on Boulevard.
On Boulevard Street.
207.
Yeah, 207 East Boulevard. Here's what you can bring. Computers, monitors, printers, cables, fax machines, networking equipment, flat screen TVs of all sizes. They will take other TVs.
I was going to say flat screen.
We will be by
everything.
We will be by. Well, we will be by to get yours. You know, as long as the tubes are in place.
Take 6 of us, carry it out, right?
So, yeah.
I delivered it to him back in 1903.
Yeah, VCR, home electronics, blenders, toasters, they even take washers and dryers and things like that, air conditioners, refrigerators,
Not anything you,
but,
Covers everything.
yeah,
Anything,
but,
yeah.
they won't, we're not we're not taking tires or hazardous materials or radioactive materials, DVDs, VHSs, CDs, cassettes, anything like this, electrical equipment. This is for the residents of Marion.
No charge, right?
No charge. And we filled up a semi-tractor trailer last year. And I probably don't see any reason why we won't again this year. I think this is a great place. If you got things hanging around in a storage shed or garage that you can't get rid of that fall under these guidelines, here's a good place to get rid of them.
They won't take empty paint cans.
No, actually, the only place that I know that does that is Jackson County. And they do that once a year, and it should be coming up very shortly. I know that the Williamson County had talked about doing that, but you got to jump through a lot of hoops to be able to do that.
Now, won't the Boy Scouts still help out this year too?
Yes.
Yeah, we got some Boy Scout troop helping us out. We are going to need,
Yeah, I haven't contacted anybody of you on that.
I think Alice has.
I have.
You have?
Yeah.
You said you were, but I was just checking you.
We're going to need some of your equipment, a couple of your guys with a forklift to put it inside the semi. So it's a good deal. Keeps it off of our country roads and places like that, and it helps us keep our city clean.
Okay, Glenn, do you or Brian have anything we need to take up? Steve and Steve. Do the Steves have anything?
Steve
He says we're good.
That's scary when he says we're good. Okay, I think we want to go into executive session to discuss a couple of three matters having to do with primarily a contract.
Yeah.
The summer field project.
Will that be contracts or real estate or litigation or all three or?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, need a
Yes.
motion.
That's my
make it.
motion.
Second.
Call the roll.
Commissioner Ranello?
Yay.
Commissioner Hightower?
Yay.
Commissioner Webb?
Yay.
Commissioner Goss?
Yay.
Mayor Butler?
Yay. Okay,